me, uh, it was almost like a savior because my mum and dad split up when I was very young, like 3 years old. I went to school, but I wasn't really present, meaning I wasn't really told to do homework or concentrate on assignments or anything. So bodybuilding, the mindset to be present, and you only get out of life what you put into it in terms of your nutrition. You know, you are what you eat, and preparation in terms of your training and your rest, your recovery. So myself and Jonathan Majors worked on a film with Idris Elba and James Samuel, who's Seal's brother, who was the director of The Harder They Fall. And we worked in New Mexico, and that was so much fun. And that was my first sort of introduction to Jonathan Majors. Then he done Ant-Man, and then he asked me from England when I was in LA, would you help me prepare for a character called Killian in Magazine Dreams, which is a bodybuilder who's got many demons and trauma going on, and he wants to prepare and enter a bodybuilding competition. Now, I used to compete from 87 under 18s, showing my age now. See if you can figure this out. Then I won the Junior British Championships 1989, stopped bodybuilding 1994 competitions, and then joined Gladiators 1995 to 2000. So, long story short, Jonathan wanted me to give him some in-depth knowledge and train him and prepare him, help him for getting into contest shape, meaning dieting for 12 weeks, like lean to get ultra shredded, you know, and cut, which he did do. He got in insane shape, which you'll see, and very cut, and he's just a very method actor, you know. He's all in.
Yeah, and I suppose, Mark, you mentioned there about your own past and your own past history with bodybuilding, and obviously for you, it's a sport. For other people, the concept, it can be an addiction. It may be a sort of a stereo sort of type that they look away at this sort of thing and they think to themselves, I can solve other problems in my life by going down this sort of route. And it can be like people who are bulimic or people like anemic or people that are very certain. People can get into this sort of thing and it can become a mental thing. How is it? Have you seen both sides of that? Obviously, you just did it for a sport, and for you, it was that. But do you think many people get into bodybuilding as well, maybe for all the wrong reasons?
I think there's various and also many reasons why people can enjoy exercising,
Mm.
whether it be weight training, circuit training, tennis, boxing, running. But I think the benefits from exercise is huge compared to when I was young. And you know, I used to just have like fish and chips, and I used to do scaffolding when I was 15 and left school. And then I went into bodybuilding. But the benefits from exercise, mentally and physically, from trauma that you might have experienced, from being from for having therapy, for it being a release, for it being beneficial to your weight loss or to gaining muscle. It's just it's so many benefits to exercise, you know. But bodybuilding, you need muscle for your back, your legs, especially as you get older. Muscle hypertrophy, it starts to waste, you know, and you start to lean over and walk like a bit low as you get older. And you want to keep that strength in your back, your legs, your glutes, and that comes from weight. You can't just run. You have to do some weight training.
Yeah. And Mark, in terms of this movie, where did you start? I believe you shot in Santa Clara in California, in terms
Yes.
of this movie. And tell us about some of your scenes in the movie. In terms, are you interacting with Jonathan Majors in the movie, or what role does Bryce play? How does Bryce fit into the world of magazine dreams?
Well, Bryce is a bodybuilder in the gym who's been exercising for years, and he's confident and he feels strong. And then this guy comes over to him, and it's Killian, and he says, "Can I join in a few sets?" And the way myself and my friends look at him are like, "Can't you see we're exercising and we're in the middle of a set? What are you talking about?" And the kind of the scene is the audacity that he had to come over and try and involve himself with us. As you can see, we're already using the equipment. And yeah, it was just a small scene within the gym. We're all in vests, exercising. It's intense. and he gets on the bench and he puts in some work, man. And it's good, and we're surprised and got to give him respect for that, which
And
we do.
Mark, can I ask you? Obviously, this movie as well. You mentioned that scene, and with Jonathan Majors as well. I suppose there is a common denominator in this movie in terms of bodybuilding, in terms of yourself, maybe in terms of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger as well. The middleman Harrison Page,
Yes,
who appeared in Lionheart, a legendary actor. He plays the role of William Latmora. Do you get to cross paths with Harrison Page and your time on set?
no. It was always with Jonathan in that scene. But I was on set quite a lot when we were downtown in the actual competition. That venue was downtown Los Angeles, where there was a stage, a bodybuilding show within the film, and I'm helping him prepare backstage, pump up like you do as a bodybuilder before you go on stage to get all your veins out, to get your muscles full, and prep for that. So
Okay.
yeah, and the other location was his home, which is a house that we rented out on the production side in Santa Clarita, and that's where his dad lived and himself.
Yeah, and we can see that people will start to say, "Oh, this is a bodybuilding show," but this is a real sort of story. There's a real drama. There's an awful lot of deep emotions running through this movie as well. So even if you weren't necessarily madly in love with the whole concept of bodybuilding, there's still a very much a story in this movie that will really engrace your soul in terms of you're looking at this guy's journey, dare I say, in terms of his
Hugely.
own life, maybe, and it's the highs, the lows, and dare I say, and everything in between.
Yes, hugely. I totally agree. There's so many terms and feels of this character that we can all relate to. His pain, his frustration, um, his, people bullying him, um, just so much pain we can relate to, and you'll see it within the character, and it will touch you emotionally, physically, spiritually. Yeah, it's good, and he actually nailed the performance, really good.
Mm. And Mark, before we came on air, you mentioned as well other projects in the pipeline, some legendary actors in terms of John Cena, to name a few, that we might be seeing you on our TV screens and our movie screens in the near future. You might enlighten us.
John Cena and Idris Elba, especially my fourth film with Idris Elba. We've done The Harder They Fall together. We've done Yardi together, which was Idris Elba's directorial debut. We've done Zootropolis together, which is a big animation film for Disney. I was the voice of the Rhino. He was my sergeant within the film. That was $1 billion movie. That was great to be a voice of the Rhino because that's my nickname within gladiators and within bodybuilding. Um, that was shot in London, and that should be coming out in 2 months' time, I think. Just waiting for a release date. As you know, Magazine Dreams will come out next week, and everyone's excited about that. Um, yeah, man. Heads of State will. That's a good film. It's funny. It's the president, but and Idris Elba is the bodyguard. I'm a pilot of the plane
Okay.
of Air Force One. Yeah,